welcome to another show. It's Monday night. Welcome to Nerds in Suits Live. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to be back. It was a long week. Atlanta was trying, and I, earlier today, threw my back out. Awesome. Great way to start the show. It sucks. It happens. What are you going to do? There's not much getting around it when it does happen. These days I try my best to sort of mitigate things like that by just, I guess, handling my body as the best I can. But, it happens. So here we are. But I still wanted to stream. I still wanted to see you guys. And so here we are. There are still exciting things happening. There are things that I'm pumped about, things I want to share with you guys. My audio looks a little low, so I'm just going to turn it up 1 second. All right, I should be coming a little bit hotter now. Hopefully I'm not peaking. The audio should be a little bit cleaner. So yeah, guys, it is a wonderful Monday evening. I've got a magic stream I'm doing with Alex right after this.
What if these were hidden?
A whole lot of that type of stuff recently, and I'm definitely excited to be back for that. There's Schmodown things coming up. There's a second half of a season that's going to be kind of in front of us here pretty soon. There's tournaments that I'll be in. All of that is happening. Plus, of course, music is happening. The tour is 100 days away, as the title of this episode states. 100 days. Today is day 1. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to try to set some goals. I'm going to try to set some stuff up, and I'm going to try to keep myself accountable and check in with you guys. Ryan and I were talking earlier today. Ryan Ramberg, who's in the chat here.
SWB audio capture. Not registered.
We were chatting earlier via Patreon about some ideas to kind of keep each other accountable on a goal. And as many of you know, a lot of what we are doing, a lot of what we do here on Nerds in Suits is it's all about goal setting. It's all about positivity and us trying to keep each other accountable and encourage each other. So a number of you I reached out to earlier today to check in on your goals. If you didn't hear from me, it's because I let you guys know last week in that weird stream from my hotel room when the audio was, or the video was not crisp at all. I checked in with you guys and I let you know that if you do want me to be checking on you every week, let me know. Send me a message and let me know something that you want to work on, because I'm kind of at a point now with it where there was a lot of people and it's definitely, fairly time consuming to get in and write something every week. And often I try to be specific. If I don't have something specific, I'll just check in on and see how you're doing in general. And I want to make sure that I'm doing it for everybody who would like that, for all of the patrons. So if you are a patron at patreon.com/nerdsinsuits, check in with me. Let me know if that's something you want. And if you didn't hear from me and you were surprised by it, either I missed it or I thought that, we were kind of pausing that. So you just let me know. You can send me a message there anytime. Other things that are going on here, guys. I'm going to go one at a time through the things that are on my mind. There's a lot of things going on this week. I'm going to start with the fact that my current favorite show of all time, Ted Lasso, the brilliant Ted Lasso, comes back on Friday, the 23rd. I loved season 1 of Ted Lasso like nothing else. I've been very, very vocal about this. I didn't really think that it was possible to enjoy a television show as much as I did at this point in my life. I felt so detached from TV. I was such a movie guy that Ted Lasso really caught me off guard when I watched it, and there was something about the infectious positive energy that really just got me. And so season 2 hits on Friday. I can't wait. I just rewatched season 1. It's a quick watch.
SWB audio capture not registered.
I want to say Verizon, you get 3 free months of Apple TV or something like that. There's a lot of ways to get it, or you just rent the season, whatever it is, buy the season. But I have now watched the season several times, the first season of Ted Lasso, and I think there are a lot of different reasons that I like it so much. I wanted to expound on it just a little bit here. I actually think I'm going to do a video for Action Industries this week that I'm going to put up, things that Ted Lasso needs to be able to recreate the magic of season 1, that kind of a thing. But I can at least summarize here, and I think I was trying to think about the different pieces of it that really speak to me. And if you guys have watched the show as well, maybe you'll agree here, but I do think there's something about sports shows and I'm not the biggest sports guy in general. I mean, I have followed basketball and the NFL pretty extensively over the last 10 years. Excuse me, guys. But in general, I don't live and die by sports. I watch the sports that I like to watch, and that's kind of about it. There is something about the inspiration of a group working together to achieve a common goal that when you watch a show or a movie based around a sports team, that can be very, very inspiring. And so I do think that that's a good backdrop. It's another one of the reasons that I like Friday Night Lights so much. It was one of my favorite shows. But I also think there's something to be said for just the general idea of a good-natured, positive group of people where nothing, even the worst things that happen, nothing is really so bad. And I think that's probably one of the things about Ted Lasso that is so unique and special, is that there isn't really any storyline in the whole first season, even the worst, where... Oh, is the audio cutting in and out, guys? Is that what's happening? I hope... Man, just always something, right? Always something. I hope it's not. You guys let me know if the audio is coming in and out. It looks like it's coming in clear. There's no interruption here on my end, but... Lord only knows.
SWB audio
Chris Hall, how you
capture,
doing?
not registered.
I think for me, it's the idea that even in the worst moments, the worst stuff is not bad or depressing or like a downer, right? It's like a backdrop. It's like a backdrop to these just inspiring storylines of people who feel good. I don't know. That's such a cop-out way to describe the show, because there's not really a whole lot to it. I feel like that makes it what it is. Other than that, I mean, that is truly what makes Ted Lasso Ted Lasso. So, oh damn it! The computer's saying something about audio capture. Yeah, I know what's going on, guys. Yep. I'm gonna fix it right now. It's always something, guys. It is always something. I thought I had this one fixed from before. Now it should be fixed. I hope it's fixed. I hope it's not going to ask me to like log in or something like that literally during the thing. Yes, good, working now. We should all be fine. There should be no more robot voice, guys. I apologize for that. So yes, I believe... Yeah, don't worry. Tech genius Ben Bateman is on the case, says Listrina. Yes, very funny. So anyway, as season 2 comes up, I say it brings to mind, what is it about season 1 that is truly so special? Why is it so good? What is it what is it that is so different? Because other shows, I think, try to, guys, I appreciate all of the help here, but the audio capture thing should be gone now. If it's not gone in the next 2 minutes, let me know. Otherwise, though, if there's another issue, then let me know. But that issue should be fixed. I just had to run a program. I had to restart the computer. I forgot to reload the program when I restarted the computer, and that's where we are. So, but so more and more, the more I've thought about it, I think what it is that it makes you kind of believe, as obviously as the moment in the show when he taps the sign that says "believe," quite literally suggests. It kind of just makes you believe that if you put the right energy into anything in your life, you can achieve anything. It's a very kumbaya show. That's what it is. And that's how I feel when I watch it. But that feeling gets me so excited. That's such an exciting place to be. Find a piece of content that makes you feel that way. There's just not that many of them. So Ted Lasso really does it for me. That is really truly the essence of what that show is so great and so special. So anyway, that being said, guys, it's coming back on Friday. I'm hoping that magic from season 1 is recaptured. I'm hoping that spark, that whatever we want to call it, the brightness, is able to make season 2 feel just as special and awesome as season 1 was. And so I come back to the thing I said a second ago. I come back to a second ago where I talked about 100 days. So I hit the road on the 27th of October. There have been some revisions to the tour. I mentioned this on a stream last week. The great John Kaiser, who was going to be with me for the full tour, has booked some work. I can't speak about it. It's his work. But unfortunately, it's very time-consuming. He will not be able to be with me. He won't be able to be with me on the tour. So I had to, just as soon as we had announced it, of course he booked something. So now I'm going to actually be bringing different people along for different portions of the tour. So far I have confirmed that my friend Ben Goddard is going to be with me in Denver and in Austin and in Orlando. Those shows all looking really, really exciting. Tickets are selling very well for those shows. Can't wait to see you guys on that first leg. And I will continue to update you guys for the second and third leg of the tour as well, and who I expect to have with me. So 100 days from now, I set sail. I will be leaving Los Angeles and going on this crazy adventure. And hopefully my back is not thrown out at that point. It would be great. It's a real bummer when you throw your back out. For anybody that has back problems, you know the good times. You also know the crappy times. But it means that I want to go on this tour. I want to look at this tour as the jumping off point to something really big and special and exciting in my life. And it is. It already feels that way, right? I already know it's going to be that way. But I want it to feel symbolic in a certain way. I want to, when I hit the road and I get on that first flight, I really want to feel like that when I come back, I have left Los Angeles and brought the best version of myself with me, and that version is going to continue with all the momentum and all the excitement when the tour is over and come straight back to LA, and it's not going to be a high and then a low. And so that's why I started thinking about what can I accomplish in 100 days. A lot of what we do here on Nerds and Suits is about goal setting. Tons of it is about goal setting. The Patreon is all about goal setting. What's up, Claire? How you doing? So much of what we do on the channel is about goal setting. So, I only have just really started thinking about what do I want that to look like. But I am thinking about some of the big ones in my life. I'm thinking about being more sustainable financially based on entertainment industry driven things that relate to my dream, whether that's live streaming or it's Schmodown or it's music, the things that I put my energy into long term. I want those things to be the most important things, like those things that I'm building. And so that means thinking more and more about pieces of content that I make and what's the reason for that piece of content. I really liked doing some of the shows here on Nerds and Suits. They were a lot of fun. If I'm going to go back to doing those shows, how do I make those shows more successful? If Song from the Scene comes back, how do I make sure Song from the Scene is watched by new people? You guys are so supportive, and you guys are so supportive, and you guys are so excited about it when I make a piece of content, and it's wonderful to have you guys in my corner like you are. It's a great community, but I want to be able to speak to more people and have them meet you guys and be able to introduce them to the Nerds and Suits community, to the Action Industries crew. That's the way I want to be able to do it. And so thinking about that and what can I accomplish in 100 days? 100 days is a long time. It's not quite a third of a year, but it's not too much less than a third of a year. And so right now, that is where my energy is going. And, I have, I got one of these giant things, which, I marked the days on, and I've got, it's the wrong months, but I marked the days down so I can be keeping track of how many days into this 100 days I am, things like that. And yeah, that's where my energy in my head is going today. And it's where I want it to be tomorrow. And I think, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago to you guys on the show, but it's this idea of thinking about your life and all the things that you want to accomplish and all of your goals, and really trying to condense them down to the idea that you have control ultimately any day of the week. You have total control over doing things the right way. And it can be on anything. That control can relate to literally anything. It can relate to you being an active person. It can relate to you journaling and being a writer. It can relate to you showing up on time to work if you're late all the time. It can relate to the way you relate to your partner or your kids or your parents. There's so many different things that every single day it is within you. It's your choice. Now, I don't doubt it. That there are certain complicating factors for all of us. Trust me. I'm going to stand up in a second and it's going to feel like crap. Life is hard. We all have challenges. We all have to deal with things. And unfortunately, there's no getting around that for a lot of us. But life's also awesome. And when you put the right energy out there, you'll get the right energy back. Maybe you won't always get it back immediately in the way that you think, but you will get the right energy back. It'll come back to you. So I'm trying to think about every single day with the very today, what's in front of me today, one day at a time mentality. Between now and the time I leave for this tour, what can I accomplish? I want to be in great shape when I go on tour, both because I want to be able to be strong enough to carry around a guitar case and lug around suitcases and set up and take down. I mean, it's quite the undertaking. So that's number one. That's number one is I really want to be in great shape, and I'm trying to focus and do everything I can, especially in the ways that I have to now. With the reality of an injury, of a persisting chronic injury that I have to fight through all the time. How do I do that? How do I get in the best shape of my life, but doing it in a way that I'm not used to? And that's one thing I'm focusing on. Back last year, I started spending a lot more time thinking about giving back more. Our friend Cam, who's often in the chat here, had recommended a couple different charitable organizations. And so I helped out, and I went and did that on Christmas and on Thanksgiving. And I really liked that. It made me feel great, and I would like to do more of that. I want to be as good of a person as I can to the people around me, be accountable, work hard, do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. These are things that I strive for. I want to do more of those things. And so when I leave for this tour, I want to feel like that person that I'm talking about is the person that's stepping out the front door. And when I get to meet so many of you on this tour, that's the person that I want to be meeting you guys. That's the person that I want you guys to when you walk in and we get to hang out after the show, that's the person that I want to be bringing with me. So every day I'm waking up in the morning for the next 100 days and I'm thinking about the challenge that's in front of me and how much control I have of it. And if I fail and I fall short, that's okay. Because I'm not going to beat myself up. Because that's not the point. It's just not the point. Jake Yakavetta in the chat here says, being reliable and dependable means so much. It really does. I had a conversation with Drew recently. We got into a bit of an argument. It was a creative argument. We were talking about doing responsibilities and creative projects for Action Industries. And one of the things he said is, he's like, you always have so many ideas and you always want to do so many things, but sometimes I get annoyed, he said, because I feel like sometimes you'll say you're going to do something on a certain day or you're going to get something done and you end up doing something else and that thing doesn't get done. And it's like, it's okay if it doesn't, but then don't make 4 plans if you only are going to have time or energy to do 1, which is a totally relatable criticism that I know any business partner, any creative partner, I'll bet you that's probably a thing that comes up in relationships with just partners. But and what I said to him back when he brought it up was, the thing is, dude, like I come up with these ideas and plans for myself and I'll disappoint myself sometimes by telling myself I'm going to do them. And what he said to me was, you shouldn't do that to yourself. You shouldn't carry around that disappointment in yourself. Why would you do that? Just don't make the plan then. There's no reason to set yourself up for that. And I think there's validity to both sides of it, right? I think there's validity to being ambitious and wanting to do a lot. You guys have heard me talk about a lot of creative ideas and projects that I've wanted to do, and some have gotten done and some haven't gotten done as fast as I've wanted, but I always want to do them. The want is clearly there. And so, but the point in what I'm saying is to remember to not beat yourself up when you make a plan or a goal. It's good to have someone else to hold you accountable. It's good to hold yourself accountable and know that the more times you set yourself up with a goal and you don't get the goal done, the harder it is the next time. But you don't want to be calling yourself names. You don't want to be inviting negative energy into your world when you fall short on something. You don't want to be doing that. So I'm trying to, every single day for the next 100 days, build a new habit, which is that when I get up on any specific day, to remember, I have a list of things I want to do that day. I'm going to do them to the best of my ability, as many as I can. That's what I'm going to do.
100%! Hey! Good job!
100% Utah! You guys hear that? I heard that. It's fantastic. And you get to see Swayze dancing. He's not dancing. He's doing, I think he's doing naked Tai Chi. And so that's the way I'm going to live every day. Right now. That's what I'm bringing into my world every single day. That's what I'm going to try to bring into my world every single day. And some days will be great. Some days will be a challenge. I'll tell you guys something. I woke up today with a real pep in my step, and then I threw my fucking back out. That's what happened. So that's okay. It sucks. It's going to be a more painful next week or two probably as the thing settles than it would have been had that not happened. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to use the energy that I have anyway. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not going to let that be an excuse. I'm just not going to. That's not what I'm doing today. So anyway, guys, that's the beginning of the show. That's kind of my soapbox moment. And I encourage any one of you, and I mean this, there's 30 some odd of you guys watching this right now. I encourage those of you that are watching this right now, if you have a goal you want to set for yourself and you want day one to be the day today, do it. Do it. Try to keep up. That's about 14 weeks. 100 days is about 14 weeks. The day I hit the road, I'll see a lot of you. I'll see a lot of you over the course of the next few weeks. And if you do something great for yourself that you're happy with over the course of the next 100 days, I'd love to hear about it. And it would be an awesome thing for me to walk in and get to meet you guys and hear that you did something on the same timeline I did. So think about it. If you don't have something right now, this second, that you want to bring up, send me a message about it on Patreon. If you're not a patron, if that's not something that you want to do, send me a tweet, message me on Instagram. My DMs are open. Whatever you want to do, let me know. I love to know what you guys are doing. If you're here watching this and this is something that is helpful or meaningful to you and you want to set a goal for yourself, today's day one. Right now, as you're listening to the show, today is day one. And day 100 will be the final day before I leave for tour. The 27th, when I get on that airplane, that's day 101. I'll be bringing the best energy I possibly can with me. So Kelly said, I've watched old videos of the last time your back gave you trouble. You're 1,000 times more positive about it this time, Ben. Thanks, Kelly. I appreciate that. I really try to be. And I feel I have a responsibility when I come on this stream now on Mondays to bring the best energy I possibly can. Because ultimately, this is one of the few places where I'm just speaking to people about my life. Action somewhat, but it's very Schmodown centric. It's very movie centric. We talk about our lives some, but we have very specific content. This is my channel. This is my career, my dream, whatever you want to call it. So when you guys are here and you show up for this, I have to speak pretty honestly. If I don't speak honestly or I bring really negative energy because I'm scared or tired, it doesn't get the job done. So I try to, and I appreciate you saying that, Kelly. That actually is it's very meaningful. Looking over here, I just got a Streamlab donation from Ryan. We saw Swayze dancing. Call it dancing, whatever we want to call it. Thanks for the constant positivity and goal setting. I have faith you can meet your goals. Diet, exercise, water, and sleep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I must be really dehydrated. Every time I drink water today, it's like the greatest water of all time. All right, let's talk a little bit about some music updates. We got a few things coming. Number one, shot a music video with my friend Steven. Talked about it last week. When I was in the hotel room, which was kind of a weird stream. I had just gotten off an airplane. I had a few drinks. The service was terrible, but we did our best. We did a great job. We shot a lot of cool stuff. He's editing it now. I have a few images that I've shown. There are some pretty cool ones. He sent me some stills from the shoot. Almost all of the stills they're all like still shots shot in the garage. And it's always weird when you see yourself in a performance moment, because when you're singing and you're animated, it's like the look on your face is always, really authentic, but it always looks weird because it's like it's not posed or something like that. So, but nonetheless, I have seen some of the footage. It looks really awesome. I'm excited to share that with you guys. Hopefully I'll have a cut of that in the next couple days. I got in the first mix of the acoustic guitar and vocal for Happiness. Now it's just acoustic guitar and vocal, so I don't have any other production on there yet. It sounds a little funny. It sounds great, but it sounds a little funny because it's a song that needs bigger production. That's what that song needs. But I still like what David did with it. I think he did a great job, and so I am very, very excited to see what I'm able to do with that. And in the next studio diary, which I think actually I had planned on doing it last weekend, I think this weekend will actually be the next studio diary. I like to do them on Saturdays if I can, or sometimes if I do them, although on Sundays, like 3 o'clock kind of a thing, right before we do, just before we do Action Guys. So probably it'll be Saturday or Sunday, and I'll make the decision by midweek. So those of you that I'll see in the study session on Wednesday, I'll let you guys know which of the 2 days. But definitely the next studio diary will be this weekend. I'm committing to that. I have Happiness that I want to show you guys. I have a couple new songs, bits and pieces that I've been working on. And I think I have decided on the next track that I'll be recording. I'm also going in this Thursday night to Wildflower Studios to do a pre-production session with a producer named Keith, a friend of mine who does work there. And so we're going to sit down and go through a few different song ideas to talk about the possibility of which one we want to do for the record, because David is around the corner from having a baby, lives in Nashville. He's going to get the parts of the stuff done that he's able to get done, but I'm going to have to finish this in LA with different producers. So Keith is the first producer that I'm really meeting with to go over that stuff with, and I think I have a pretty clear idea. Keith and I will probably do at least one song together. So, Kaylee, that's awesome. The studio diaries are really, really fun. It's been a couple months, I think, since we've actually done one. I've planned to do a couple of them, but one reason or another, I just haven't really. It hasn't been a thing. But this weekend will be a lot of fun. I can't wait to show you guys what I'm working on and go through some old stuff. And I'm still 3.5 months from tour, so I'm not quite there yet when it comes to actually working up the set yet. but I have a clearer idea. I have a much clearer idea, I think, of what this set is going to look like. I think I'm going to be buying a small like amplifier system, goes up higher. It's a small speaker. It's all very self-contained. And that way I'll be able to do the looping station and other stuff like that. But yeah, relatively soon I'll have to start rehearsals and coming up with what I want the set to actually look like. So that should be really, really fun. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Speaking of which, guys, benbateman2021tour.com. That is the official URL of the tour. It's in the description here of the video below. A lot of you in here have already bought tickets. Many of you already have. If you're considering buying a ticket, but you haven't yet, it's the 19th of July. I will be booking the venues beginning here at the end of the month. Probably realistically, by the time I do the show next Monday, I may have even booked the first one already. But I will definitely be booking the rest of the all by the beginning of August. I'll be booking literally all of them. So I ask anybody who is watching this, who is considering it, who's waiting till the last minute to buy their ticket. If you're thinking about buying a ticket, if it's something that you're planning on doing, please do me a favor and buy that ticket in the next week. For me, what's going to happen is on some of these shows, because a couple of these shows I know will be smaller. It's the nature of the game when you're booking a tour like this. And when David and I talked about it, he basically told me very clearly that if you book 12 shows, you'll assume they're all going to be a certain level, but you're going to end up playing to 4, 5, 10 people in a couple cities. It's unavoidable. There's just no way, unless you have like a really big audience, that you'll guarantee it. And so for a few of the shows, I'll be booking very, very, very modest-sized venues or rooms, because that's all I'll have to. And I don't want us to be in like a big room if there's like 10 people, And so by the time I do this, once I do book the venues, it will be harder for me to change to a bigger size if I end up selling a whole bunch of tickets the week before. I will do everything I possibly can to accommodate, literally everything I possibly can. I don't want a single person who wants to attend a show on this tour to not be able to go. And I totally recognize the fact that 3.5, 4 months ahead of time it's not something I would do. I don't buy tickets to things that far ahead of time. It's just not something I do. But if those of you that are considering buying tickets are waiting, I encourage you to buy one in the next couple days, in the next week if you possibly can. It will give me a much clearer count of who I think is going to be coming so that I'm able to actually book the proper sized venues. So I look forward to seeing you guys. benbateman2021tour.com. Kelly says, I'm buying at least 2 tickets, but I need to know the venue for San Francisco Bay Area is just so annoying with parking and transportation. Need to know where it is first. Fair enough. Fair point. I don't know yet. So I wish I could confirm for you. All I can tell you is that all of the venues, all of the rooms I'll be playing in will be in the city proper. I won't be going deep into the suburbs of any city. They will all be considered, in the main actual city. So San Francisco is the city. Kaylee says, my Apollo passed away last week. Thanks for kind thoughts. That's Kaylee's cat, Apollo. So let's all send a heartfelt hair tussle to Kaylee. I'm sorry to hear that, Kaylee. I'm glad to have gotten to know you a bit more and to have had you in some of the sessions. And obviously that's crushing. Losing a pet is the absolute worst. So I'm really, really sorry to hear that, Kaylee. Let's all send a lot of love. So yeah, guys, I think that is my plug for the show. If you're watching this now, if you're watching this later, do me a favor, get those tickets. Otherwise, other things that are going on with the music stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let me think. What else has been happening? We talked about the session with Keith. We talked about the Mix of Happiness, the studio diary. Talked about the shows. Yeah, those are probably most of the updates. The music video, that's probably most of the updates that are coming, right immediately. Few more things around the corner. I do see Haskell in the chat here. Big shout to Haskell, who sent me an awesome gift. A few records, a Mammoth record, plus a couple other records from his collection. David Bowie, Billy Idol, Hall & Oates. That was really, really nice to come home and have that waiting. That was really, really cool. So I will be listening to that. It's been fun. I love having the record player. It's funny because it's so much more convenient to listen to digital. I can just turn my phone on, obviously, and it links to the whole house. But there is something peaceful about putting on an album and then playing it and just listening to it all the way through. You don't stop it, pause it, change songs. You just have to listen to. So yeah, that's I think that's I just wanted to thank Haskell for that one. So let's talk about some of the other stuff going on. Let's talk a little Schmodown. We've got a couple things coming up here pretty soon. We have, of course, the singles and the teams tournament around the corner. There are a couple different possibilities there. There's a real shot that Dan Merle and myself, Danger Zone, will get a chance to play one more match and have a chance to possibly get the team's belt. Nothing's been announced yet, but I know that it's only an 8-teams tournament, so it's going to take less weeks to film. So I think that there's a chance Dan and I will still get a shot before that team's tournament to take a crack at it, and then, of course, if it doesn't work out, still be in the tournament, I think. So we will see about that, but I do know one way or another there are more teams matches coming up for Dan and I, at least one more match. Now, on the flip side of that is the singles tournament. That'll be the next time I play a match. The first round of the tournament is around the corner. The singles matches have not yet been announced, but it's a big tournament, 32 players. For us to film that and air that the rest of the season, there's going to be a lot of scheduling. So I know that my little tiny hiatus I've gotten to have since the loss to Ethan, where we've been doing our sessions, but I've calmed down just a little bit. It's probably over. I got on. I did some mock matches the other night with Dan to help him out. We've got a session on Wednesday this week. I'm actually playing against the aforementioned Kaylee Vaughn. Kaylee and I had to push it from last week. We'll be going 1v1, which is how it works at patreon.com/nerdsinsuits. Once a month, I do a 5-round head-to-head match against one of you, patron at the diamond level. And if you're there, you sign up, you have a chance to take me down. I have lost before. Often I'm often able to do well, but yeah, Kelly says it's over, Ben, get ready. I know. Trust me, I know. I did pretty well in the scrimmage against Dan, so at least that I was able to, I didn't feel totally out of shape, but yep, we're back at it. So oh, Tyler in the chat here. Big shout out to you, Tyler. Give you the hair tussle here. Says, do you have any amps and do you have pickups on any of your guitars? No reason, just asking. I don't. I have a Roland AC60, which is an old acoustic amp. That's what I was using for the digital show I played recently. That's over here. I don't really have an amp otherwise. I don't even own an amp for my electric guitar. I have almost exclusively played through this Roland for like my whole life as a musician. I've never really been much of a rock player. I had an old bandmate had a Fender tube amp that when we were playing, I was in a band like 5-6 years ago. When I was playing in that band, I used to play through that tube amp. And so those were kind of the ones. Those were kind of the major ones that I was using. But vast majority of the time I just play acoustic, or I mic it or something like that, or I'll just go direct input into a system. And then the pickups that are on my Casino, I'm not actually sure which ones they are. At one point I definitely knew, because when I bought it, I had a whole conversation with the guy about it. But yeah, I'm not much of a gearhead. I wish I was more so. I probably will become more of a gearhead, is my guess, as I'm going to be buying and getting ready for this tour. I did buy the Boss one, whatever, I can't think of the name, the red Boss looping station pedal. That's the one that I was using for the show. I have a couple pedals, basic stuff, a DL4. So I hope that answers your question, Tyler. But yes, as we consider what's happening next with Schmodown, it's definitely big challenges. We're gonna have hills to climb, and I'll be excited to climb those hills with you guys. If you guys, yes, long live Philip, Philip the champion. I heard he TKO'd me, just a rumor. I mean, you were there, right? You were there, guys. But so yeah, if you don't want to compete in a 5-rounder, but you just want to show up and hang out, that's at the lower level of the Patreon. That is the platinum tier. $15 a month gets you in there. One thing I'm going to be doing here probably for August is I'm going to be getting in and updating the Patreon tiers and figuring out what we're doing right now that's awesome, and then if I'm going to be doubling down with more content on the channel, how to make sure that I'm rewarding those of you guys that have supported for such a long time. Many of you remember on the episodes of A Great Conversation or on episodes of Song from the Scene, a lot of you guys, your name was being in the credits at the end of the episodes, things like that. So trying to find ways to continue to involve you guys. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about that. Let me think what else is going on. We got music, we got goal setting, we got Schmodown. We talked Ted Lasso a little bit. Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you guys have going on? I know I reached out to a handful of you guys about your lives, but I am curious to hear anything else you guys have going on. One thing I can tell you guys that's pretty wild is while I was in Atlanta, the company that I was there with had this crazy meeting room. And in this meeting room, they would, I'm going to put a picture on the screen. It's going to blow your guys' mind. It's a crazy meeting room. And the way it worked was they stocked this meeting room with like pretty high end booze. And their basic attitude is basically their attitude is if you want to drink something, open whatever you want. And that's what they tell you. They just tell you it's all yours. There's no restrictions at all, and open whatever you want. And so that's what people do. And when the day hits 5 o'clock and the showroom starts to wind down, we all go into this room and you just open whatever bottle you want. I'm going to show you guys right now. So this is what I was doing in Atlanta. I mean, as well as other things, as well as working. But this was end of the day every day in Atlanta was this. And if you enlarge it on your screen, you'll see it's just almost all top shelf stuff. There's definitely a couple bottles that are like lower, that are, a little bit more. There's a couple bottles on there that are maybe a little bit more just like over the counter stuff. But I mean, the vast majority of what's in that case is just ridiculous. Like there's the top middle there, you guys can see on the right side. That's like Pappy. So those are like $1,200 bottles of bourbon there. I opened probably four or five of these like nicer bottles while I was there. But yeah, it was crazy, guys. If you're a whiskey drinker, it was like a treasure trove. It was insane. Definitely one of the cooler perks of being able to go do that and be a part of the show. It's also one of the more fun things about business travel is that, that's all justified by that company, right? That company says this is part of our setup, and this is, we budget this, which is crazy. Ryan asks, what'd you chase with? I don't really chase. I usually just drink rocks or often just neat. That's something that I like to do. Other cool stuff that I want to tell you guys about. Last night I went to see a screening of what's your guys' favorite booze? What's your favorite thing to drink? Anybody in here, some of you might be, I don't know, I think maybe most of you are of age. But what's your favorite thing? If you're going to drink one drink, what is it? Last night I went to see a movie. I went to see a movie called Defending Your Life. It's Albert Brooks movie from like probably maybe 91. Is that right? Let's look that up. I don't want to learn that by saying it casually on here and then be wrong. 91 might be wrong. I'd probably guess 91. Defending Your Life. 91. Look at that. Okay. It's an Albert Brooks movie. It's got Meryl Streep in there. It's got Rip Torn in there. It's a phenomenal plot here. Alex Quatermass in the super chat here. Went back to the movies for the first time since the pandemic. In the Heights was incredible and definitely loved Black Widow. Felt great to be back. I mean, yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. Both of those movies. I really, really liked Black Widow a lot. I loved In the Heights. In the Heights was one of the best movies of the whole year. I kept singing a lot of the songs for days and days and days. I'm really glad you enjoyed going back to the movies. Okay, we got some answers to the booze question. Okay, we got Dallas saying vodka. We got bourbon with a big rock or bourbon and some ginger ale, says Dan. Usually wine, as for mixed drink, Moscow Mule, says Kelly. Brust, says Ryan. Tequila, Maker's Mark. Johnny Walker Blue, says Lestrina. Malibu Rum and Cranberry. Margarita with good tequila. Nice cold Corona. Makes sense. Haskell, not a big drinker anymore, but I'll do a Jameson. Yeah, strong move. Gotta love that Jameson life. So So yeah, Defending Your Life, went to see it at the Arrow Theater, which in my neighborhood. I've talked about it now a handful of times. I'm loving going. It's been super, super fun. My buddy Jason went with me, and this one was introduced by Jonah Hill. It was a movie that he came out at the beginning, and he spoke for about 5-10 minutes, and he basically came out and said that he grew up watching this movie on VHS, and he loved it, and that he had never seen it in a theater, and that he heard they were going to do the screening, and he asked if he could introduce it and be there to screen it, and so he was, which is pretty cool. Maybe 100, maybe 200 people in the theater, something like that. But it was pretty badass. It was pretty badass to walk in and see Jonah talking, and then he's just sitting in the seats, maybe 20, 30 feet away from us, watching the movie, and you can hear him cracking up all the whole time throughout it. So that was pretty cool. I like Jonah Hill a lot. Like a lot of the stuff that he has done, a lot of the stuff in his career has been a lot of fun to watch. But also, the movie itself was great. Defending Your Life. The premise of the movie is that Albert Brooks gets he dies right when the movie starts. He lives in L.A. He's in like advertising or something like that. He dies, and then he has to go to heaven, or the interim before heaven, and he has to try to defend his life to explain to them why he deserves to get in. And if he doesn't deserve to get in, he has to go back onto Earth and be reincarnated as someone else to try to be better so that he can get in the next time. And it's funny. It's a funny comedy. It's a well put together idea. Albert Brooks is a pretty like singular comedic talent. This is kind of the peak of his. This is kind of like the
100%, Utah.
Hey,
good job.
Big salute to you. Thank you so much. That's a donation there from Tanya Tagamuffin here. Says, in bed with a migraine. We'll catch up on the show tomorrow. Have fun and happy Monday. Thanks, Tanya. I appreciate that. Always good to see Naked Swayze dancing. I do very much appreciate the donation. But Albert Brooks, it's kind of like peak Albert Brooks. He's in broadcast news. He gets an Oscar nom for that in '87, and then this is '91, and he had directed a few movies, but this was a big movie. Meryl Streep is the co-star, and he never really got huge again. He was in huge things, right? He plays Marlin in Finding Nemo, and he's obviously Bernie, the villain in Drive. But in terms of his actual big like a big name in Hollywood, it has to have probably been broadcast news and Defending Your Life. That's the era that he's most famous for. It was fun. It was fun to watch. I always love watching movies like that. Movies that had a big impact in their time, that were big talking points, that have kind of now faded a little and are maybe not quite as well known. And it's one of the things I like so much by getting to watch this stuff in a theater. It's like the ultimate way. It's the ultimate way to learn about movies for me. It's way more compelling for me to buy a ticket to the theater than it is to just like at night rent a movie for $4 and do that. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really wanted to share with you guys here. I haven't played music on the stream in a minute. We could maybe do that. Might be willing to play a song or two before we get out of here. I'm trying to think if I've been playing anything else. I did have a guitar out there that I was messing around with. Maybe I'm thinking about if I want to play anything. If there's any particular song that I want to play. I'm not like really not warmed up per se at the moment. But yeah, I think as far as most of the stuff that I wanted to share with you guys here on the stream, I think that's I cover. I think I cover most of it. Ryan says, I think you wanted to share happiness. Ryan, I for the most part, until a song is released, haven't been playing them mostly on streams. Every once in a while, I'll play like a new one or one that I'm working on that I like. But often, especially if I feel like they're like a little more personal, the lyrics, I feel like I want to try to maybe hold them closer to the vest until the song is released. I think that's how I feel about that song. So, yeah, I'm thinking here if there's anything else that I wanted to do cover-wise. Oh yeah, let's talk. Actually, one thing I did want to talk to you guys about that. Oh yeah, Kelly says 6 p.m. early start for the study session on Wednesday. This is true. Wednesday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is going to be the start for the study session. Between the study session and then we're going to do the 1v1 match with Kaylee, and of course the session after. So it should be a little bit longer of a session than normal as we get closer and closer and get ready for more Schmodown coming up pretty soon. But what I was going to tell you guys is I will hopefully be at both Scum and Villainy events on the 1st and 14th of August. I'm hoping to be there for both of them. It'd be fun to get to hang out and see how it all goes down. And then, of course, I will be in October. I think it's October. I believe it's October 9th. I'll definitely be there in New York as well. And then finally, Spectacular. So all of the big live Schmodown events, the hangouts, I'll get to see you guys at all of those different things. And as many of you know, I will be playing on the show on the 7th. No, not the 7th. The 5th of December on Sunday night with Chris Clark and Marzonia and David B. at the Mint. Tickets for that are on sale now. If you guys want to go and see a big Schmodown music event, that is going to be on Saturday. My record release show is on the Thursday of that same week, so I know a lot of you guys have already bought tickets for that one. And yeah, I think that's the majority of the stuff that I wanted to talk about tonight on the show. Those are my shout-outs. Why don't I pick up a guitar here for a minute and just horse around for 5 minutes and see if there's something that I want to play. I think there's probably some good options. Let's see.
100%, Utah. Good job.
Just got a Streamlab donation here from the great John Lestrina. Call sign #Ladies Night. It says, had a fun time hanging out with family last week and teamed up with my sister and brother for a trivia match. We won. There was a question about naming all the members of the Traveling Wilburys. We all forgot about Jeff Lynne, but not Petty. I mean, Jeff Lynne is the hard one to remember, except if you're a big Tom Petty fan. Jeff Lynne produced Full Moon Fever. So, you know, pretty famous there in that sense.
100%, Utah. Good job.
Ryan here says, as always, thanks for the music. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that donation. You guys are great. I appreciate all the donations. I appreciate the patrons. I appreciate those that have bought tickets to the show. Tune, just a little. Let's shut down those Facebook notifications. Get rid of those. Quite do it. Hate when it's out of tune, guys. You're gonna have to bear with me for 30 more seconds while I tune this. I just can't do it when it's out of tune like that. Just can't do it. All right, one quick second, and it will be in tune, I promise. And I will play one song before we shut it down for the night. Do 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 do. You'd think I would start doing this before the shows. All right, here we go. little throwback, New York, 2019. Highway run into the midnight sun. The wheels go round and round in my mind. Restless heart, we belong tonight. Sending all my love on the wire. I say that the road ain't no place to start a family. Right down the line, it's been you and me. Loving a music man ain't always what it's supposed to be. Oh, girl, won't you stand by me? I'm forever yours, faithfully. Circus life under the big time world. We all need the clouds to make us smile. Through space and time, always another show. Wondering where I am, lost without you. Leaving love ain't easy on this love affair. Two strangers learn to fall in love again. I get the joy of rediscovering you. Oh, girl, just stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully. Faithfully, I'm still yours. Well, going for it there on the high note. Not warmed up. Probably not the best, but you know what? We're not on tour yet. Let's see. Let me think what else. I've played this one a couple times, but I haven't played it recently. It's just a verse and a chorus. But It's a song that I like doing, and it's a song that I'll bet you eventually I'll record. But I'm playing a half step down with this guitar, so we'll just do the verse and the chorus. Goes. Let's get these fucking headphones off because I can't hear shit. Get in the way. All right, here we go. Last song.
Missing you today helps me pass the time. Memories can fade, they'll always make me smile. And I remember your face, tears in your eyes. It was the very last time you'd ever let me see you smile. And always I see pictures of you, and I think of the things we never got to do. When you've loved and you've lost it, there's nobody to break the fall. Thought you had what you wanted, but will you ever really know? When you've loved and you've lost it, there's nobody to break the fall. Oh, thought you had what you wanted, and will you ever really know? Oh.
Don't have a second verse yet. Just never wrote one.
And always I see pictures of you, and I think of the things we never got to do. When you've loved and you've lost it, there's nobody to break the fall. Thought you had what you wanted, will you ever really know? When you've loved and you've lost it, there's nobody to break the fall. Oh, thought you had what you wanted, but will you ever really know?
I gotta finish it. I do like playing that song, and I think because I like playing it so much, I gotta finish it. Even if I don't know if it fits with some of the other songs, I just like playing it. Enjoy singing it. All right, guys. I think that may be it for tonight. Sitting is the most painful thing in the world when you throw your back out. So I have been sitting for an hour, and I'm going to have to play some Magic tonight. So I think we're going to call it a day. Just want to make sure a couple things. I want to check Streamlabs donations. I want to check out Patreon, make sure I didn't miss any patrons. And then finally, I want to check over and just to make sure we didn't sell any tickets during the show, because I like to shout anybody out who buys a ticket. Number one, make sure I already read this from Ryan, but final donation here. As always, thanks for the music. Of course, thank you. Appreciate that. Ryan says, thought this was a cover of something I hadn't heard. Totally dig it. You should absolutely finish it. Yeah, it just sounds, it has a big hair metal kind of vibe to it. All right, let's check over here. Make sure I didn't miss something here. And then finally, last but not least, we're just going to make sure on the tickets. I think most of you that watch this stream that are going to buy a ticket already have bought a ticket. So, all right. And otherwise, guys, I believe we're going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Thank you for supporting what I'm doing. I'll just shout out one more time here from last night. JJ Monahan and Justin the Juice, both in the last day for Seattle and Chicago, have bought tickets. So very excited about that. Those are going to be great shows. All right. Big hair tussle to you. Looking forward to seeing you guys all soon. And I'll see you guys in the study session Wednesday. Remember, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Early start time this week. Starting at 6. All right, guys. Have a great night. And I will talk to you on the next one.